Peace and blessings. I am ChiVital, aka King Chi, and I am back with another tool for your two kids and how to create your life. All right, we're back. We're doing a video on scrying. This is part 2 in the series collaboration with myself and the Occult College. Shouts out to the gang. We are teaching you all the ancient craft of scrying and delving into its secrets, its uses, its history, the myths, and the mysteries. Peace, family. As you tune in, y'all already know. Drop some hearts in the chat because I love the love. But this time around, I want y'all to light it up with these crystal balls and mirrors. Crystal balls and mirrors. Welcome back, Madame Secheta. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, Davy. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Evergreen 509. Hi, Monk. The family's in the building. Y'all know we give y'all a little chance to a notification went out pretty earlier, but the does its thing on its own time. It's all good, it's all good. Happy Black History Month. You know, it's Black History every day. But yeah, rep your set. Rep your set. The beverage for today is water, lime, and ginger. Yum. And that's to even out the acidity in the bloodstream, clears up the skin, clears out the mucus. Y'all know I love my coffee. And if you start to get that little nasal drip, you're a little too acidic. All right, y'all. So today is part 2 for your scrying lessons. I'm going to try not to overwhelm you with information. But I probably can't overwhelm you anyway because you all love to learn. But let's talk about this. Scrying. Scrying. There are different forms of scrying. As you all know, we can do scrying in mirrors, scrying in water, scrying in fire, scrying with smoke, scrying. Um, Tea leaves. All of those are forms of scrying. Any reflective material, scrying. You all have the definitions, but for those of you who are new to this channel or you have not yet subscribed to, I want to say the brother channel to this channel, right? Or the counterpart or partner to this channel, then you may not already have that information. Um, in order to do so and to stay abreast of the lessons here, go over to the Occult College, which was tagged in my community tab for the first part to this collaborative series. Boom. One shot. Okay? Scrying in the black obsidian mirror or crystal ball is the most advanced form of shadow work tools. Okay? Specifically with black obsidian, it is documented as one of its properties to be such an intense tool for shadow work that anyone who is sensitive to energy or working with black obsidian for the first time or has experienced any form of psychosis should accompany their work with black obsidian with a therapist. Okay? This is not made up. This is facts. Okay? Don't believe me? Look it up. Okay? Working with Black Obsidian as a scrying tool requires utmost emotional maturity. I don't want to just say security. That's relative, but level of maturity, meaning you have a greater grasp on how to respond to the information that you receive during your scrying practice versus one who is very reactionary. Okay. And that's for a couple of reasons, and I'll get into that. Because scrying with Black Obsidian is so advanced, meaning it's so powerful in its ability to pull forth from the depths of a particular realm I want to discuss, it is imperative that you already walk into this level of shadow work knowing your weak spots. Most importantly, write that down. I must know my weak spots. Write it down, underline it, highlight it. Very, very important. All right. It is super important. Scrying is going to involve access via the eyes. Okay. Via the eyes. Now, you will come across materials that talk about your experience with scrying that turn your attention towards things like hearing or feeling physical things. But the most important and the direct contact to the realm is through the eyes. Okay? If one is blind, they are not going to be able to practice scrying. Okay? So let's deal with the facts here. The other things that occur, hearing things, feeling things, those are secondary parts of the divination or scrying process that occur because working with, in particular, the Black Obsidian and the scrying practice is going to enhance your psychic abilities. And psychic abilities include clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. Okay? So, because you are practicing scrying and connecting with the tool via the eyes, yes, your other psychic senses are going to be enhanced. As practitioners in training, and some of you are already practitioners and you are picking up another tool, okay, you want to have that delineation of understanding. Why is this really important and why am I emphasizing this? Well, the eyes give ourselves and others access to the soul. No mystery there. We've heard it 1,001 times. The eyes are the window to the soul. The eyes are the window to the soul. Write that down 3 times and underline it. The eyes are the window to the soul. Okay? Now, the eyes being the window to the soul, you must underline and emphasize that you are going to be connecting via your soul to the realm of souls. Okay? The first connection, before you get all traveling everywhere, okay, is going to be via the soul. Understand that. What are some aspects of the soul's realm that you should be very clear about? Well, when working within the soul's realm, you are very, very vulnerable because this is a space where you are most open to experiencing some level of psychosis, okay? And you are also going to be met with many offers for contracts at the soul level. Within the soul, we carry something called our blueprint or our soul print, which are a list of contracts that you have with other souls traveling together, particular experiences that you have agreed that you will have in order to take a particular action, um, activate particular powers that you have already collected, collect new tools and information that are going to be utilized for further parts of your journey. So your soul script becomes available. Consider looking into the black obsidian scrying mirror and crystal ball, the same as opening up to the dark web on your computer. Okay? Scrying with the black obsidian can be compared to opening your computer to the dark web. Okay? This brings us back to knowing your weak spots. If you're a cokehead, but you've been offered a position where there's going to be coke available, sorry to be so crass, but make it plain and simple for the people. You know what I mean? You want to know ahead of time that you're going to be in a space that is going to tempt you. And you're not going to be helpful to yourself by hiding or denying where your weak spots are. Okay? So as much as you can tell the place, because I'm sure they interview you and go, okay, we have narcotics in this closet, and we need to ensure that you don't have any habits so that the record keeping stays tight and we don't have an issue where narcotics are disappearing. You go, absolutely. I'm totally with the war on drugs. and, you figure, I got this, that's not an issue. I've been clean, but you've been clean and nowhere around access to the goods. So now can you be clean and have access to the goods, and the only person who's going to check you for a long time is just going to be you? So this whole preparation, and I want to really take it back some weeks now, This preparation has been in the making. Remember the things that, for those of you, welcome. Sorry you're coming in here late, but for those things that you wrote down that you're fearful of, for those things that you wrote down that you did not want to seed into this new earth, this new life, a good test to how well you indeed whited out those fears is if you try to, in this moment, to remember what the hell did you write down before you whited it out. Even if you try it right now, if you try to think about what did I white out, and you have a hard time recalling it, that's a good sign that you truly let it come up, out, and be neutralized. Now, if your mind goes immediately with definite clarity to exactly what you wrote down, all is not lost. However, you must keep in mind that that is a weak spot for you. Okay? So, I'm telling you this because when you go surfing the deep, dark web, there are many merchants on the sea. And the one thing that they like to do is either put forth contracts for some kind of exchange or tag along. Please write this down. They either want to put forth contracts or they want to try to tag along. You going into a realm, traveling via the frequency of your soul, puts you in a place where the only protections you have are some of the alliances that you have already made or you are covered under via your protection that you have had myself or your Baba do for you. Now, I love the various forms of spiritual practice and systems that I have gone into. And you know that both of us have been have been through some of the traditional African spiritual systems. However, I have seen firsthand that there are other things that we do that override those types of things. Okay? When it gets to this level of work, it is beyond, it can be absolutely beyond the Orisha deities or the saints and such. Okay? Not comparing saints and Orishas are different. Let's not get it twisted. Remember, the dark web. The dark web is for is for the the genius, the ever evolving, the the Rahu minded, the yeah, the ones who have selected to be on the side of the um, the creator. However, there are energies that have been locked away in this space by sorcerers for millions of years. And here comes along your new aged soul or newer soul. No disrespect, but it is what it is. And they see this beautiful soul peering in, and they would love a way out. It's starting to sound familiar. Make sense? And the first thing that they will do is they will show you something that gets you to let your guard down. Okay? This is not just a matter of showing you someone that you care about and softening your heart to an old memory of whatever. Okay? It's not just that. This is a matter of working towards one, two, or multiple things that you either want to hide and keep from coming to the surface, so you get busy trying to hold that back, or something that you really, really desire, but it makes you uncomfortable. Okay? Whatever it is, the first thing is going to distract you in such a way that you are busy with trying to have control. This is why meditation practice, shadow work, preliminary shadow work, protective rituals, ceremonies, and following particular instructions is really to your benefit, because there's some really good stuff to experience on the other side if you go in there with a level of maturity and foresight, so you don't get caught up on some of the beginner uh, tricks. Okay, it's like, we don't want the minors on the dark web. Why? Because someone's gonna go, oh, hey, how's your day? And then they're going to start talking to them, make them feel like they got a friend. They're going to get so open and comfortable. They'll start sharing with the friend things that they don't need to share. Next thing you know, someone's at their house, right? So your practice needs to begin with learning how to sit still and observe without blinking for as long as possible. So minimal blinking for at least like 15 minutes in a space that is private, that is quiet, and you have minimal light. Okay. Now, what you will observe, I'm going to go into some of the things that you might observe for right now is you may observe the technique of placing 2 candles on the outside, right, with the ball or the mirror in the center, which concentrates the energy and creates um, more of a direct vortex and portal, okay, to walk through. Um, you don't need to do that as yet. Even having a very like ambient low light lamp and quiet is enough, just enough for you to get a reflection off of the mirror or the crystal ball, or just 1 candle in the space, okay, is enough. Sitting for 15 minutes, finding a point, a direct point in front of you, and allowing yourself to stare without blinking for as long as you can so that you can get used to when you cross the threshold and what that feels like and what that looks like. All right. Now, you all will receive some meditations from us to further set up the space and direct you into where you're going. But I always say that knowing yourself and what's already being pulled forward from within your own print, knowing that well enough, first and foremost, is safer for you and more beneficial, right? Because it's not to be afraid, but you want to be doing this work with some benefits rather than just crowding your space, right? Crowding your space, crowding your mind, crowding your energetic body with a bunch of things for the hell of an experience, okay? But for the benefits, you want to be able to identify, like a scientist, how long it takes for you to separate from the physical room that you're in and step through the threshold of the mirror into the other realm. And it's going to be very, very visible. Okay? You will indeed see when what you're looking at in front of you no longer reflects a still picture of yourself. You will see the change. There is a glitch. As you step out of the matrix into another realm, you will see it. What you will notice is that the more you practice this part, is the more quickly you'll be able to step through the threshold and hold it. Okay? It's like when you have been on and off boats more consistently, when you step off of the dock into the boat, you don't get as much of this, whoa, because you're used to it. You know how to step onto the boat and find your rhythm and be still. That's what you want to practice. Okay? You do not need to have any water present. Water is a medium used for spirit to speak, but what you will, if you don't already know, is that earth stone is a representation of crystallized water of the earth. The black obsidian is the blood of the womb and the tears of the heart of this planet. Okay? It is the amniotic fluid of the earth itself and the tears of her heart. So you are going into a space where you are able to see your own timeline for this particular journey. Okay? But the same way when you're in your mother's womb, when they go to messing around with the amniotic fluid, or if anything is going wrong with your amniotic fluid, it puts you at risk of infection. So when you go out there into this realm, understand that you do not want to make any agreements or even converse with anything that talks to you right now. Okay? You going in there like true royalty. You're doing a walkthrough, a drive-by, a sail-by. You're not coming to talk to anybody. You coming to see what's there. And when you're done, take notes about what you've seen and the order of things that you've seen once once you cross the threshold. Okay? Now, red flag, please listen. I'm already putting it out here. Disclaimer, do not smoke weed during these lessons. Do not smoke weed during these lessons. Smoking weed is only going to increase your chances of having some kind of psychotic break or having an attachment come back with you when you leave the threshold. You don't want that. Okay? Don't figure you're going to smoke some weed, you're going to get high and really meditate, and then you're going to be staring into this black obsidian ball. You can lock your own soul into this crystal ball, into the mirror, and not know how you got locked in there, and something else comes out, and bye-bye. Where you at? You won't know. Okay? That'll be the exchange. And people don't realize that, especially how you cannot ever really be sure as to the contents of the marijuana that you're smoking nowadays. Okay? If you're doing any type of synthetic trippy drugs, okay, don't do it. Okay? Yes, a soul for a soul. A soul for a soul. Y'all have any questions? Because I'm going to scroll through here and see what y'all were talking about. Dun, dun, dun. Davey said, "You looking into the crystal ball, trying to figure out if it's a friend or a fed." Yeah, for the most part, it's a whole nother city, right? So nobody's really your friend. And when you on the seas and those merchants are doing their thing late at night and security is not on the beat, nobody's your friend. Everyone's looking for an exchange where they come out with the win. Okay? No friends amongst gangsters. In this space. All right, I'm just looking at the comments to see if there's any questions here. How long should we stay in that space at a time in the beginning? Okay, so the homework right now, the practice is at least 15 minutes. And if you find that within 15 minutes you still aren't able to cross over into the threshold and gather some notable information, extend it to 30 minutes. The thing is, some people figure the longer that you're there is the more advanced you are. Not necessarily. Right now, I want you to hone your getting on the horse and riding it, as opposed to how long can you take the horse for a long journey. All right? That makes sense? Because you're not going to do this in conjunction yet with your pranayama practice. And that right now should be taking you about 40 minutes. Okay, and if you're doing both, then that's almost an hour, right? Then you have 15 minutes of gazing into your crystal ball or your scrying mirror. Now, one of the benefits of having received your scrying mirror or crystal ball from us is that it's gone through the realms and there are particular forces already traveling with it. Now, I said that you will also see a couple of different things. There are scrying mirrors and such that you will see traditionally encased in pieces that have symbols around them or figures around them. And those are representative of protective forces because traditionally they already know that energies are going to be coming in and out if they can, and they put those there to assist with putting things back in their rightful place. Okay? What you all have is an open space. And so you want to make sure that you keep your space clean. And for those of you who got your scrying mirrors and your crystal balls from us, it went through a process of having some forces already encircling the piece. Okay? Vera, you're tripping. All right? You be tripping. The first time Vera said, the first time I smoked during the ugly self in the beginning of Inanna descent, I literally almost lost my body. Yeah. I mean, some of y'all like to play. Y'all like to play with things. And, hey, there's always Bellevue, the G building, and such. This place is for you to go get lost. And then you also can call if you have the wherewithal to call and say, I've lost my shit and I need a serious session to help bring you back. Okay. I still need to work on controlling, letting go of my thought during pranayama. So during the pranayama, that's a good note as well. During the pranayama, the controlling or letting go of the thoughts is a great point. I spoke about letting it just rise as opposed to following it or having an emotional response. So whether it's sadness, anger, frustration, joy, even, the object of being clear of it is to be able to let it rise up and practice stepping back from it. Okay? Practice mentally, emotionally, and energetically stepping back from the memory that arises. And you'll see that it'll continue to come through uh, during each sitting. But each time it comes through and you step back, it'll get more neutralized. It's not that you're going to become some apathetic, don't care about anything kind of person in your life, and that's enlightenment. It's not that. But you truly want to be moving towards a space where you're even, you're pretty even kilter, and you almost do choose completely your emotion and how and when to dance with a thing. But for now, you're wanting to at least just move to a place where you're neutral. You're neutral. And for some memories, that's very difficult, right? Because we are super, super, super engaged, right? Or what is it called? Um, is it entrapment? You're within, you have an entrapment there. Yeah. So continue working with that. Vera asked, how do you feel about people taking meds for psychological things like schizophrenia? Well, one, I'm not a medical, I'm not a psychiatrist. Um, if someone is taking meds for schizophrenia, then, if that's the only route that they went to address that, then I would have loved for them to try something more natural. You know, there are other ways. Most people who have those kind of ailments don't like to take those kind of drugs, but there are other people who do take them because it gives them a chance to live a somewhat normal life. Um, we keep it a buck. Not everyone really wants to be living with their awakened gifts of sight. It creates more isolation and disconnection from the muggles in their life, and the muggles provide some sense of emotional comfort. Can you blame a human being for wanting to still feel connected? No. Okay? So that's a personal choice. um, so thank you to Hody Faye for putting the practice here for part 2. I really want you to have these key takeaways regarding knowledge of your weak spots, okay? Which will be red flags for you, right? They're going to come up if anything speaks to you and they're pressing on the thing that is one of your weak spots. That should be more of a firewall comes up, like someone trying to crack the code. Something is trying to crack the code. Okay? I need better encryption. Um, do not smoke weed during these lessons or take any synthetic mind altering drugs. You definitely should journal these occurrences and take note of whether you're able to cross the threshold quickly or if it's taking some time. Okay, especially with the blinking thing. Okay, because some of you still see more on the peripheral as opposed to directly in front of you. Okay, so we want to focus on pulling the energy center. Um, While we're waiting for the official meditations, are we good doing preliminary sadhanas to make sure uh, there's very little to those entities can latch to? Um, you have meditations that are for protection that you can listen to. You would want to do those. You can continue to do those like before you go in. I always encourage y'all to use your tools before you go in. Um, this particular space that you're going into is different, but going in with some guns versus empty-handed is fine, right? It's better than nothing. That's the benefit of having access to the meditations via the Patreon, and good, well organized notes. Would you agree? All right. So no water. You don't need to have a whole bunch of candles. That's not what you're doing right now. You actually want to keep the space as dark as possible with limited light. Um, and bear in mind that you will receive some offers. You will receive some offers. And for now, you're just window shopping. Got it? You're just window shopping. So who you face it? Don't talk to strangers. No strangers. You're on a special mission. No strangers. Okay? All right. An evergreen 509 high monk, you want some spiritual weapons? You should go back into some of these lessons where, um, especially, I don't know who remembers the Durga lessons where you earned each of your weapons along the way. Who remembers that? That was pretty lit. That was pretty lit. All right, fams. I'm going to let y'all go. Peace, love, and bliss. It's always a pleasure to share these pieces of knowledge with you all. Please leave some comments in the comment section, any questions that you have, and post in both groups, y'all. Share, like, and share this video. Take this link and share it in both groups. That is for you all to do, and share your experience with your homework. All right? Peace, love, bliss. Don't forget to drink your water and mind your business.